Hi, welcome. In this video, we're going to go over character arrays and do some manipulation with character arrays. We're going to be using C-style strings because this is an array exercise more than a string exercise. We're using character arrays because they're more interesting to follow, but we're going to be keep in mind that this is just understanding and practicing with arrays. So let's get started. We're going to use CString because we're going to use the string length function from CString because we're going to have character arrays, and we'll use the CC-type library for the toUpper function. We're going to change all the characters in an array to uppercase. Then we're going to change all the characters in an array to uppercase but assign it to a new array. Then we're going to assign the reverse of an array to another array. Then we're going to reverse an array, and then we're going to search an array for a target. So we're going to do this with character arrays, and the only difference is that we're going to use the string length to get the length or the location of the null character. If you remember, if you use an integer or a double array, you would have a count. So it's still going to be the same loop starting at index 0 and going up to the count or the length. All right, so let's get started by changing all of them to uppercase. So we have this character array. This character array has been declared. It is an array. It is size 8. The word hello is 5 letters, so it's going to take up 6 spaces because of the null character. So you need to get the length in order to do the loop to go through and change it all to uppercase. So we use the string length function. So you would just say like int length equals string length, and you pass it the word, and it's going to return back to you the location of the null character, which is a 5. Then you just do a loop that goes through the array character by character and takes each character. So it'll take the first character, change it to uppercase, and assign it. So the loop would just be, I can write the loop right here, for int I equals 0, I less than length, semicolon, I plus plus. This will go through one by one through the array, take the letter. So the first letter that would go in would be the capital H, and it'll pass back a capital H. Our value of I was 0. Then we hit I plus plus, we change I to 1. So now we are at index 1. It'll pass in the lowercase e, and it'll give us back an uppercase E. Then we go here, I plus plus, we change I to 2. We test, is 2 less than 5? Yes, it is. So now we will pass an L, and it'll continue to go through for each letter one by one until you get to the point where it says this is I is 5. So when I is 5, then it'll test 5 less than 5, and then the loop will stop. So what happens is now we have changed all of the letters and we still have the null character here. So we now have a character array that used to have different cases of letters, and now it is all uppercase. The toUpper function comes from the CC-type library. Next one we're going to change, but we're going to assign it to a new array. So it's the same thing. This is our word is our original, and our upper is another array that has nothing in it yet. So we will use the string length function. So we say again, int length equals the string length. We pass it our word, and then length will be 5. So now we just need to loop through the same way that we did before for int I equals 0, I less than length, I plus plus. The only difference now is we're going to pass this letter in, and instead of assigning it back here, it's going to assign it here. So we're just going to go letter by letter, and we will have an H, then an E, then an L, then an L, then an O. But the problem is right here, the null character, we do not have a null character here because that array was empty. So what you can do to handle that, because we want to have the null character because we can print it onto the screen and do other things with it, we will just assign it. So to assign the null character there, you can just say upper at index. So you can take the string length of word and assign it the null character. And that will put the null character right here. You can do that at any time, but you can do it. You could do it before the loop, but the point of this exercise is not really string manipulation. It's practicing arrays. So again, this is what I just did. This is going to assign the null character right here, and keep in mind that the uppercase letters have all already been assigned. All right, next thing, we're going to assign the reverse of an array to another array. So we're going to, again, use the string length function. So this is going to be our length. It's going to be 5. And then you're going to just loop through. So instead of looping through and using the toUpper function, we would just say for I equals, of course you have to declare int I equals 0, I less than the length. So we're going to put the O here, we're going to put the L here, this E here, and this H here. And then we're going to assign the null character. We go one by one. So all you do is what you're doing right here. We take the reverse at index I. So we start at 0. So when it's going to be 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. And we're going to assign to it word. This is length at index length minus 1 minus I. So this is going to be, if you look at it like this is very easy. This I is just going to go 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And up here, this is going to be length. This is length minus 1, length minus 2, length minus 3, length minus 4, and length minus 5. So when I is 0, this is length minus 1 when I is 0. When I is 1, this is length minus 2 when I is 1. When I is 2, this is length minus 3 when I is 2. When I is 3, this is length minus 4. What it is length minus 1 minus I. So again, we'll just do this one more time. This is length right here. 5 is length. This is length minus 1, 4. Length minus 2, 3. Length minus 3. Length minus 4. And length minus 5. So when I is, let's get another color. When I is 0, then this would be length, which is 5, minus 1, minus 0. So that would be 4. Let's stick this. Then when length is, length is 5, so we can keep that there. When length is 1, when I is 1, then this one is going to be 5 minus 1 minus 1, which is 3. When I is 2, then this will be 5 minus 1, which is 4, minus 2, which is 2. When I is 3, then this will be 5 minus 1 minus 3, which is 1, or length minus 4. And when I is 4, this will be 5 minus 1 minus 4, which is 0, or 5 minus 5. So that's how you reverse it. So you just make the assignment. So each time you would see the O is going to go to that one, the L, the E, and the H. Now you've used this in the loop, and now the loop is done because I is going to be 5 and the test is going to be 5 less than 5, which is false, so it's going to stop the loop. So then you need to do the same thing we did before, and you need to say reverse at index string length of word equals the null character, because you want to make sure that you get the null character here. All right, so that's really easy to assign the reverse of an array to another array. So now we've changed the case of a character array. We've transferred one to the other with a new case. We reversed one by transferring it, and now we're going to reverse an array by not transferring. All right, so how would you reverse an array by not transferring it? You need to, you only go through half of the array. So you're only going to loop halfway through. So you have length minus I. Oh, that's the back, sorry. You only go halfway through the array. So your loop is going to go for I equals 0, which is the first one. And we have our length. Length is 5. I less than length divided by 2, I plus plus. So if you do length divided by 2, then this is halfway right here. Now if you have a, and then what we're going to do is you're going to, 5 divided by 2. Okay, then what you're going to do is you're going to start here, and you're going to have a temporary. You're going to have to store this into a temporary, and then move this here, and then put this here. Then you store this into a temporary and move this here, and then put this here. Now this is an odd number, so if it was an even number, then you'd have to do the other one too, then this would evenly divide. But if it's an odd number, then you don't have to move the one that's in the middle. This is the one that's in the middle, right? So if we go through this, remember that we're only going halfway through, so we can follow along with our here we have temp. Well, we can follow along with I. We have I, we have temp. So when I is 0, then we're going to, temp is going to be H. I should be back one, but that's okay. And then we're going to say word at index 0. We took the H that was here and we put it here. So then this right here is going to say word at index 0 equals the O. So this right here is putting the O here. And the word at length minus I minus 1 is going to do the temp, and that's going to put the H here. Now in our next one, for the next one, I is going to be 1 and temp is going to be E. So the next one, what we're going to do is we're going to take our temp is going to be E. So then we're going to say word at index 1, which is this one right here. And we're going to replace it with this one. And then we're going, that's this instruction right here. So that's length is 5 minus 1 minus 1. So that would be index 3. And then we're going to put the L here. And then we're going to, the temp was E. So that one is going to go here. So now we've reversed it because we only go halfway through. Because then our test is going to be 2 less than 2. right here because length divided by 2 is 2. So now we're done. Oops, and then we have to, of course, that's it. Then we're done because the null character was already there. And the last thing we're going to do is practice searching through an array for a target. So say, for example, our target is the letter E. You just do the same. You'd get the string length, int length equals string length of word. And you just go for int I equals 0, I less than length, I plus plus. We just need to add a condition in here. So you could have your target, you could say if word, so we could have char, let me go up here, char target equals E, for example. If word at index I equals target, that means it's found, right? So whatever you want to do based on it being found, that means it's found. If you have more than one, you could count how many times it's there. You could return the location of the first one. You could return the location of the last one. You could replace it. It depends what, for example, if our target was L, then you have more than one L. This is an L and this is an L. Do we care about what the index is? Do we want to replace it? Do we want to change it? Do we want to return the location? That depends on what your intention is. This is just going over the ways to do it. This is the same loop. Start at the beginning, go one by one through each character in the array. You just add a condition here to compare and see if you found it. If you go all the way through, like with the target, like if your target was X, then you're never going to go inside of here. You go through the whole loop, and then you just continue on with your program after the loop because it was never found. Okay, so I hope that helps you understand a little bit more about arrays and the loop that goes through for int I equals 0, I less than count or length, or if it's an array of integers, you would have a count, or an array of doubles, you would have a count. If it's a string, you have a length. It's always going to be the first empty one after because your count is going to be 5, and that's going to be the index of the next one. So it's very important to understand how to iterate through an array one by one, and character arrays are a nice visual way to do that. Thank you.